We Muslims, we ruled Spain for about 800 years. The Crusaders came, they wiped out the Muslim. There was not a single Muslim who could give the adhan openly. And today in Spain, hardly you find any Muslims, just a small percentage. We ruled Spain for 800 years. We didn't use force. We have the example of the Arab countries. For the last several decades, the Muslims have been the lord of the Arab land. A few years the Britishers came, a few years the French came, but overall, we have been the lord of the Arab land. We have ruled the Arab land for the last several decades. Today, there are about 9 million Arabs who are Coptic Christians. Coptic Christian means they're Christians since generation. If the Muslims would have used the sword and forced everyone to accept Islam, there would not be a single non-Muslim alive. These 9 million Arab Coptic Christians in Arab land, in Egypt, etc., they are giving shahada that Islam was inspired by the sword. The country where I come from, India, we Muslims, we ruled India for about 1,000 years. And at that time, India was the most powerful country in the world. It was called as a golden bird. And the amount of development that India made when the Muslims ruled is phenomenal. We ruled India for 1,000 years, we didn't use the sword. Today, more than 75% of the Indian population, they are non-Muslims. These 75% non-Muslim Indian population, they are giving shahada, they are bearing witness that Islam was inspired by the sword. If we wanted, if the Muslims wanted, they could have converted everyone at the point of the sword. We didn't do it. These 75% non-Muslims in India, they are giving shahada that Islam was spared by the sword. And today they say, after the new government has come, Muslims should leave the country. Who fought for the freedom? If you name the people who fought for the freedom of the country, you will find umpteen number of Muslims. When Muslims came, India became the strongest country in the world, most richest, most powerful. Britishers came, they looted it. They took away the wealth. So today, the Indian government has no problem with Britishers. They're very close friends because they looted them. They took all the wealth. We made they made the Indians as slaves. Many slaves they bought in this country, Malaysia also. Why these double standards? The people that helped the country grow to come to its level, the highest that India was at any time was when the Muslims ruled. It was the richest country. The Britishers come and they loot them and they're very close to them. They rob them. They make them slaves. Yet they don't want to follow the master. These 75% non-Muslims in India, they are giving shahada, they are bearing witness that Islam was inspired by the sword. Which Muslim army went to Indonesia, which has the largest population of Muslims in the world? Which Muslim army came to Malaysia? Which Muslim army went to the east coast of Africa? Where many countries, majority of the population are Muslims. Which sword? They did by their class. Traders went. Which army came to Malaysia? Which army went to Indonesia? The majority, almost all were non-Muslim, then almost all became Muslims, mashallah. And later on, now there are people coming afterwards. Malaysia became fully Muslim. Then you had the Chinese coming, you had the Indian coming, the Britishers coming. They are our new guest. Somebody called me a guest. So I said, before me, the Chinese are the guest. They aren't born here. So if you want the new guest to go first, ask the old guest to go back. The Chinese, they're not born here, most of them. Or maybe the new generation, yes. So if you want the guest to go back, and those guests which are bringing peace in the community, they are benefit for the family. Which sword? Thomas Carlyle in his book, Heroes and Hero Worship, he writes, which sword? Every new idea originates in the mind of one. In one man head alone it dwells. One man in the full world. Little good it will do that he propagates his idea with a sword. Which sword? Even if the Muslim had the sword, we can't use it. Because Quran says in Surah Baqarah chapter 2 verse number 256, La ikraha fid deen, there is no compulsion in religion. Truth stands out clear from error. What Thomas Carlyle is talking about the sword is the sword of intellect, the sword of love, the sword of reasoning, the sword of mercy. As I started my talk, Allah says in Surah Nahl, chapter 16, verse 125, Udu ila sabili rabbika bhikma wal mu'azzat al-hasna wajadun billati ahsan. Invite all to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them and reason with them in the ways that are best and most gracious. It is the sword of love. It is the sword of reasoning. It is the sword of mercy, which is conquering the hearts. No wonder today, the fastest growing religion in the world today is Islam. According to an article which came in Reader Digest Almanac Yearbook in 1984, it gave the statistics of the increase in the major world religion for a span of 50 years, from 1934 to 1984. And number one religion that increased the maximum was Islam, 235%. In a span of 50 years, from 1934 to 1984, in a span of 50 years, Islam increased by 235%. Christianity, only 47%. I'm asking the question, which war took place between 1934 and 1984, which forced the non-Muslim to become Muslims? Which war? Today, the fastest growing religion in America is Islam. The fastest growing religion in Europe is Islam. The fastest growing religion in the world is Islam. And however much they're trying to attack Islam, alhamdulillah, that much Islam is spreading. The non-Muslims, the Hindus are 6.3%, 6.4%. The Hindus in Malaysia get more than 100 times more rights than the Muslims in India. Good, alhamdulillah. I'm not saying take away their rights. Good. This is what Muslims should do. They are half the percentage, numbers wise very less, half the percentage of India where Muslims are. Yet the rights they get here is 100 times more than what India gives rights to minority. So much so that they support the Prime Minister of India but not Prime Minister of Malaysia. MashaAllah. The Prime Minister of India wants me. The Prime Minister of Malaysia does not want injustice to be done to me. The Hindu Malaysians are most of them supporting Prime Minister of India. Now there are people coming afterwards. Malaysia became fully Muslim. Then you had the Chinese coming, you had the Indian coming, the Britishers coming. They are our new guest. Somebody called me a guest. So I said, before me, the Chinese are the guest. They aren't born here. So if you want the new guest to go first, ask the old guest to go back. The Chinese, they're not born here, most of them. So maybe the new generation, yes. So if you want the guest to go back, and those guests which are bringing peace in the community, they are benefit for the family.
Petang dan menyertai himpunan tersebut, dan kita dapati bahawa tidak ada himpunan pada petang ini. Jadi kita ucapkan terima kasih kepada mereka yang berkenaan. Dan inilah semangat kita nak, semangat yang mana mereka mematuhi arahan polis, iaitu tidak mengadakan himpunan seperti yang saya nyatakan semalam. Jika mereka mengambil juga ataupun menghadiri himpunan tersebut, kita akan ambil tindakan tegas pada mereka yang berkenaan. Semalam kita tangkap 2 orang yang mana telah menyertai himpunan pada mulanya, Jadi kita ambil statement di bawah Seksyen 95 atas penanaman dan
Dr. Zakir Naik has instructed to me to give a short press statement, okay, regarding what happened today and the last 2 days. Okay, so this is what he wants me to tell you all, that we came to Bukit Aman today and on the last 2 days to give statement on the police report filed on the 16 August 2019 against the following 5 people. Okay, you know the 5 people, right? Okay, Mr. Kula Segren, Mr. Dennis Ignatius, Mr. Ramasamy, Mr. M. Satis and Mr. Charles Santiago. These 5 people have misquoted Dr. Zakir Naik and laid allegations against him to cause racial discord and racial disharmony, for which he has lodged 2 reports. He lodged 1 report on last Friday and 1 more report today. Today's report is with regards to what happened yesterday, where Mr. Ramasamy has again gave a press conference to an Indian media, again tarnishing and rubbishing Dr. Zakir Naik's reputation. Bearing in mind of what the IGP has said yesterday, where he has issued a statement that there should be no further statements by any politician with regards to racial issues, and if anyone does, the police will investigate and arrest any individuals involved in racial and religious issues, including politicians. He has said that. But despite that, Ramasamy has again given a press conference to this Indian media and again tarnished Dr. Zakir Naik's reputation. He repeated what he has written before, and therefore we lodged a second report just now, a short while ago, after giving the statement to the police with regard to the first police report lodged by Dr. Zakir Naik on last Friday. Okay, so the purpose of lodging the second report is for the police to again take action against Mr. Ramasamy and investigate the matter. Okay, because in this second media conference, he has accused Dr. Zakir Naik as being venom, poison, hate monger, fraudster and trickster. So he took offense of all these allegations, and hence he has lodged the second police report. Okay, that's about all what he wanted me to relay to you all. Okay.
Question, I'd like to ask, will Dr. Zakir be challenging the media gag on him?
Media gag?
Yeah, that he's not allowed to speak and all that.
No, at the moment he has been advised, there is no instruction given to him in writing or anything like that to ban him from participating in any talk or anything like that. He has been asked not to give any talk for the time being until the police complete the investigation. So therefore he will definitely heed to the advice given by the authority.
He has been advised, but not in writing.
Yeah, not in writing, and there was no ban order or anything like that imposed on him. Okay, so he was merely advised not to give any talk for the time being until the police complete the investigation.
And he intends to heed this, lah. He will heed the advice.
Yeah, definitely. He will heed. He will obey the law until the police complete the investigation. Okay?
But the police said it is an order but not advice.
It is not an order. Nothing in writing given to him, and no instruction given to the lawyers also to inform him. So therefore, be that as it may, he will obey that advice given to him. Okay, not to participate in any talk until the investigations are completed by the police. So one investigation is by the other side against him, and 2 other police reports were lodged by him against these 5 people, including Ramasamy.
Okay? And Kula and the other 4 MPs said that they are ready to see Zakir in court.
Oh, yes,
so
definitely.
Did you file lawsuit against them?
In due course, we will be filing the action in court in respect of the letter of demand sent to the 5 of them.
When will you file?
We will be filing it soon. We are in the midst of preparing the cost papers, and we will be filing it soon.